All right, the Georgia Bulldogs fight off the Missouri Tigers tonight, 30-21. Tough, hard-fought victory for the #1 team in the country. Listen, before I talk about Georgia and how well they played in the second half on their way to victory, I think you have to give credit to Missouri. They came out swinging. They came out and gave Georgia their very best effort. They're a top 15 team in the country for a reason, and they matched Georgia's energy and physicality in this game. This is a 10-10 ball game at the half, and you knew then that this might come down to the wire. But on the road against the best team in the country, I thought Missouri played an excellent ball game. They've got weapons. Brady Cook played as well as any quarterback has played against Georgia so far this season. He made a lot of plays with his legs, showed off his big arm, but at the end of the day, Georgia showed why they're back-to-back champions. That's what champions do. They took the best game from their opponent, took it on the chin here and there, but, they always look like the best team, and they made enough plays both offensively, defensively, special teams to get the job done. Nazir Stackhouse with a big-time interception late in the ball game. Peyton Woodring with a 48-yard kick. Game on the line. They're up 6. If you miss that, Missouri's got the ball and could score a late touchdown and win this game. They trusted Peyton Woodring. He went out there and connected on a deep kick. As clutch as it gets, Georgia goes up 9, and that was really the ball game. The defense played better and better throughout the second half, but Georgia's offense really came alive in that second half. First possession in the second half, touchdown. They go back and score another touchdown, then field goal, and then that final drive where they just took a knee to end the game. They stepped up when it mattered most. Defensively, they stepped up when it mattered most. Tyke Smith had a big sack on a key third down. Again, Nazir Stackhouse's interception was one of the biggest keys of this game. An interception late to seal the game. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Small Munden, they both made plays. They didn't tackle particularly well. We've seen the defense play better, but I'll tell you what, Missouri came out and played physical, and they ran the ball in Georgia. They actually rushed for more yards than Georgia did in this game. I think Missouri rushed for 150, Georgia 130. This was a hard-fought game for 4 quarters. This was a hard-hitting game, too. I mean, this is a bring-your-lunch-pail to the game, smash-mouth football at times. And, Georgia didn't run through Missouri like they have other teams throughout the season. Carson Beck did not throw for 300 yards. He still didn't turn the ball over, had 2 touchdowns, about 250. So that 250-yard streak still continues, but I thought Carson Beck played really well. Daijun Edwards, that South Georgia toughness, running the football, especially at the end of this game. Kendall Milton, again, a healthy Kendall Milton is a difference maker. A healthy Ladd McConkey is a difference maker. This is a solid win, and I know they didn't cover. They only won by 19. I know it's Missouri, but that was a good team Georgia just faced, and they got that team's best effort, and they won the game. They scored when they needed to. They hit field goals. They didn't turn the ball over. They made stops on third down defensively, forced turnovers. They made adjustments. That's what you could tell. Things were a little easy for Missouri here and there, but when Georgia stepped up and made adjustments, they changed the game. And, Luther Burden is very good. Theo Wease is very good. Schrader, the running back, was running hard, man. He was bracking a lot of tackles, breaking a lot of tackles out here. He ran as hard as you could ask for any opposing running back to do. And Georgia doesn't give up 150 yards on the ground very often. They did today, and that shows you how good Missouri is. But Georgia played this game like champions do. Sometimes you have to survive. Sometimes you have to take their best shot and kind of, in the game late. And that's what Georgia had to do. And they're probably going to get Ole Miss's best shot next week. They're going to get Tennessee's best shot in Neyland Stadium. You have to power through that. You have to make enough plays, and they did today. I thought the return game, Mekhi Muse was very good, got Georgia in a really solid field position at the beginning of drives. Tom Lovett made some plays. Oscar Delp made some plays. He caught at least 3 passes. One was a touchdown. One, I think, was on a big key third down. He also had a big block in the fourth quarter on a Daijun Edwards run. That was really important. So Oscar Delp played really well. The offensive line played better and better, but I tell you what, that was about a 50-50 battle in the trenches, it felt like. Missouri's defensive line got after Carson Beck. I think they sacked him 3 times, made things difficult down the field in coverage. I mean, guys were not running as wide open as we've seen them run open so far this year. But Georgia did get to 30 points, but it did look weird at times. There was that weird Brock Vandagriff run on like first and first and goal or something like that, and it was more like a Justin Fields type of run. He lost a yard or two. They were very conservative going into the half. It was like they had a minute or almost 2 minutes to go, and they ran the ball a couple times, then an incomplete pass, then they had to punt it right back to Missouri. So there were some questionable decisions, I thought, from at least the offensive staff. Defensively, they got hit deep. They gave up some explosives in the passing game, but I thought the officials were all over the place in this one. I mean, there are flags everywhere. Half the time in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be reversed. This one's going to stand, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was like 50-50 on the night. I had no idea what the officials were really doing today. That was as bad an officiated game as I've seen a Georgia game in a long time. So that's got to get cleaned up. If you're Kirby Smart, I bet he's about to go to his press conference, down at the bottom of the stadium. I think he's a happy dude. I think this team is happy. If you're a Georgia fan, you got to be happy with this. This is a 9-point win. That was a little stressful, right? I'm sure there were a lot of anxious Georgia fans at home, but they battled, and they battled through more adversity that's going to help them down the road. But this is the third SEC game where they were down, and they fought back and won. They weren't down by a big amount today or anything like that. I think Missouri's biggest lead was 3, but this was a back-and-forth game that Georgia had to win in the fourth quarter. That they did because they are the deeper, more talented, better coached team. But Eli Drinkwitz has that program heading in the right direction. I mean, they played as strong and as physical as any team we've seen play against Georgia this year. Georgia turned it on in the second half against Auburn and South Carolina, right? They were clearly the better team, but Missouri kept fighting until the very end, and they gave it everything they have. And I thought that was very impressive to come into here in this environment, which it was loud. I mean, I do think the crowd had an impact on this game. A little nervous energy here and there, maybe at the half, but I think you knew Georgia was the better team at halftime, and you were just waiting for them to turn it on, right? Missouri gets the ball the second half. I think they convert on a field goal, but then Georgia comes right back, scores a touchdown. I think they end up having an 11-point lead at some point in this game, and that's when you knew that, okay, like this, they're the better team. They're going to win this game. When they went up 11, I think everyone felt really, really good about where they stood. But then Missouri kept fighting back, and they did not go away. Credit to them, but again, Georgia made enough plays, both offense, defense, and special teams, to win this game. And they had the big moments, right? They had the Kendall Milton touchdown early, but the Nazir Stackhouse interception, the Peyton Woodring field goal, just the little key third down plays on offense that allowed them to move the ball and get into field goal range. But Carson Beck, 2 touchdowns. The one to Oscar for a touchdown, I think that was a third down too. They continue to play really well on third down. They're the best third down team in college football, and I need to go back and look at the numbers, but I think they executed at a high rate on third down, at least offensively, again today. But they're going to be tough to beat for a lot of reasons. They're just too good on offense, too good on defense, and they can take a team's best effort, right? Even at home, they took Missouri's best shot, and they won the game by 9, and then won the fourth quarter and won the second half. That's what this team has done over and over and over again. But I think if you're a Georgia fan, Georgia didn't crush Missouri. They didn't step on their throats until the very end. They didn't run them out of the building, and that's okay, because that's the best team they've played all year, and that's probably the best win that they have all year. A 9-point win over the number 12 team in the country. That's solid. That's solid. But we've still seen Georgia play better, and I think we will see them play better against Ole Miss. But again, this was a tough, hard-hitting game that Georgia fought through, and they won. And again, they made enough plays in the end. This is a very good team for 4 quarters. They have been for years, but this team has it too. Seems like they played their best in the third and fourth quarters with the game on the line, key third down on the line, key drive on the line where you need to get some points, extend a lead, or fight back in it. And they've been able to do that every single time. Just a massive, massive win, and one they needed. This was the biggest game of the season. Now Georgia beats Ole Miss, and the East is clinched. You lose to Missouri, and you needed some help. That's only their second loss of the season. That's a good team that Georgia beat today, and they had a 4-quarter battle, a 4-quarter war basically. This was Georgia had to earn this one. Nothing came easy. they came out and they earned a hard-fought victory over a very quality and a top 15 SEC opponent in Missouri, a program on the rise. And they showed today that they could be a force to reckon with for second place in the East for a while. Actually, I guess there's no divisions next year, I guess. So we'll see. But they gave Georgia a real game today, but Georgia pushed through. That's what champions do, and they win the game 30-21. A lot more to talk about. Can't wait to do it throughout the week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.